As we welcome you back to a new season of Chatham-Kent Cougars football with Coach TV. New hope, new season, same broadcast team. Sorry about that. Mike Renier along with Mike James here at the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex. Back for 2017 with the Chatham-Kent Cougars. The JVs today, it's junior varsity, and the Cougars and the Titans from Oakville. And Michael, looks like the Cougars program from top to bottom looks like they're going to have a pretty good 2017. A lot of hope around the different classes.
Yeah, a lot of returning players on this squad. Certainly a couple notables. Jonathan Cartier, who we'll certainly talk about, plays multiple positions, including quarterback for the Cougars. Just want to note, Cougars, of course, in green tonight. And covering on that kickoff, nice tackle there on special teams from Lucas Doyle. Oakville starting with the football, but certainly some names that we're going to be sprinkling in throughout the broadcast for the Cougars that you're certainly going to recognize from past years.
Oakville on offense to begin this football game, and on 1st and 10, pass intended along the far side. It falls incomplete, so 2nd and 10, just 30 seconds into this football game. And as you'll notice, the jerseys are fairly similar with the dark forest green of the Cougars and the darker jerseys for the Titans of Oakville. So as it is right now, Oakville going from right to left in the black jerseys on offense.
Yeah, that's right. It is a little bit difficult to differentiate them for some. Someone like me, a little bit colorblind.
That's where we'll make our money tonight, so we can help differentiate the teams for you. 2nd and 10 for Oakville as they go on the ground up the middle, and a minimal gain with the carry that time. Marcus Nikolovsky, number 44, right up the gut for the Titans.
Nice job on the defense up front from the Cougars. Oakville fakes the handoff on the sweep, then try to test the middle of that Cougars defense, but nothing doing. Big stop there. 3rd and long now for Oakville.
It looks like
9.5, I'd call it.
Sorry, Michael. Looks like it's Nikolovsky might be a little winded on that last play, as he's still on his left knee. Training staff coming out to take a look at him, but as you mentioned, good job by the front line of the Cougars D. And that was a pretty important stop. This will bring up 3rd and fairly long for Oakville.
Well, nice to see him walking off under his own strength.
Good to see Marcus make his way off the field. Hopefully we'll see him back in the game shortly.
Marcus Nikolovsky with the trainer. A little bit of a hitch in his giddy up as he makes his way off the field. Again, hopefully nothing serious. Looks like Oakville's going to elect to punt this one away here on 3rd and long.
Junior varsity, 3 downs here, so good opening series on the defense side for the Cougars. The kick goes very high in the air, comes down inside the 50-yard line. Cougars field that one cleanly, no real return. And it looks like Wilcox got that football cleanly. The Cougars going on offense now.
Yeah, that's a nice job by Patrick Wilcox on the return. Just because it was a very short kick, very high, he had to sprint up about 15 to 20 yards to make that catch. And he knew there was going to be a lot of traffic there because that football didn't travel very far. But Wilcox does a nice job, secures it. It's taken down for little to no gain, but great football, great starting position here for this Cougars football squad inside the 50 of Oakville.
As we get our first peek of the offense for the Cougars on JV for this season, as they go right up the middle on the ground. Nice run on 1st and 10, still on his feet up to the 40-yard line and just a little bit past. Nakoma Scott gets the opening assignment. And 2nd down, but not much to get here. Looked like an 8-yard gain by Scott on the ground.
Right up the gut, as you mentioned. Nakoma Scott. We talked about some of the names that you would certainly recognize as carryovers, and Nakoma Scott is one of them. Number 23, good running straight up the middle, no hesitation at all. He hit that whole full stride, and as you mentioned, nice big gain, 7 to 8 yards. Looks like it's going to be 2nd and short here for the Cougars.
One play on offense, thanks to that starting position, already at the 40 of Oakville. 2nd and short for the Cougars. And out of the gun. Quarterback keeps it and goes off to his left, in a little bit of trouble trying to find some open room, and he will get a loss. Not much that Jonathan Cartier could have done with that one as the defense closes in on Cartier very quickly. So the football coming back a fair way after a good 1st and 10 run.
Yeah, great job by the Oakville defense to string that out on that called quarterback keeper. They try to sprint it outside, but the corner on that far side, corner linebacker Justin Kirk for Oakville, makes the open field tackle. So we'll see what the Cougars elect to do here, if they decide to go for it or punt it away. It looks like they're going to line up to punt this one away here.
But a 10-yard drop on that last play for the Cougars. And they will kick it away. Kick goes high in the air along that far sideline, and that will bounce out around the 20-yard line or thereabouts. So back on offense will go the Oakville Titans. And both defenses shining pretty brightly in the opening series.
Yeah, it's a nice kick there from Cameron Creechin, too, for the Cougars. No return on that. Got it to bounce just out of bounds. Looks like Oakville's going to take over at about the 26-yard line there.
First down for Oakville at their own 27.
Second time on offense here for Oakville, still scoreless. Just getting going here, the athletic complex in Chatham-Kent. 2017 opener for the Cougars, junior varsity. A busy weekend. 2 more games coming up tomorrow that we'll again have on our air, Coach Co TV. They'll have this first down as a do-over. And it looks like they might drop this football back. Going to go against Oakville, so the Cougars get a bit of a gift here.
And it's funny, when we were talking about some of the players, obviously, that we're going to recognize that are back for another season, one of the names that will really stand out, we haven't called it yet, was Darian Bassick-Hadden.
Yeah.
The only thing that I'm a little disappointed with is he's not that big number 55 this season. He's wearing 24. He was always just, you'd always recognize that 55 at that running back position.
We'll see how he does with that new number for 2017 as Oakville keeps it on the ground up the middle on 1st and 15. And again, another great job by the Cougar D to keep that gain minimal. So we'll maybe see a bunch of rumbling runs from 24 this year. At least we hope so for the Cougars and their fans.
Yeah, it was just always entertaining. Of course, you have players that will play both ways. Bassick-Hadden, of course, played linebacker as well and still does, I'm sure. But to see that big 55 lined up at the running back position, not a number you're used to seeing at that position. But on that play, certainly nice job by the Cougars defense. Looks like we've got a offside here on the Cougars, just a little bit quick on the outside there. But good job so far from this Cougars defensive line on the first 2 possessions for Oakville. Not really giving up much on the ground at all, stuffing everything up at the line of scrimmage.
So the second infraction against Oakville on this drive will negate and then some the small gain that they got in that last play. So 2nd and long here from their own 18-yard line. It is scoreless football game as they go back to drop football, or the flag on the field. And the pass falls incomplete. I believe it was blown dead before the snap anyway. So we'll see the call once again. See if this football comes back even further.
Yeah, they're going to call that one against Oakville again, offside. Yeah, like you said, I'm not even sure if that play, I don't think that play got underway. It was tough to hear the whistle.
It was awfully close, but offense seems to have a little bit of the yips here so far early for Oakville as they continue to shoot themselves in the foot a little bit. Back to the 13-yard line now, early in this football game, still scoreless.
I know this is a spot where Oakville, as a coaching staff, you're likely going to go with something a little bit safe. You're backed up in the shadow of your own goal line. Just survive the down, but no, they're going to put it in the air.
Quarterback keeps it. He is in danger near his goal line, rolling to his left, still on his feet, now has a little bit of daylight along the near side. Huge hit along the near sideline. And I think levying that boom there was Quentin Emmerich.
Boy, you could hear that one through the stands and up into the booth here. Emmerich laying the wood along the sidelines after a couple of nice stiff arms there from the quarterback, Stephen Wenzel, and that forces the punt here from Oakville. But that's a nice way to start the year with a big hit like that.
An emphasis on defense as the Cougars will get the football back once again 5 minutes into this football game. A couple of good stands on D for the Cougars.
Emmerich perhaps trying to send a message to Oakville. What a nice kick there.
Bounces all the way back to the Cougars 42 before it squirts out of bounds. So that's going to be your starting point for the Cougars. Backed up a little bit, certainly in comparison to their last starting point, but back on offense, the Cougars come, and still a scoreless football game.
Well, certainly you can understand Patrick Wilcox, where he was in terms of returning that kick after the first kick that we saw. It was very short, very high. That time, a much better kick from Oakville that clears Wilcox's head and gets a favorable roll for Oakville and backs the Cougars up onto their own side of the field.
Second time on offense for Chatham-Kent. Both sides have good performances on D so far. Cougars back with the football. They keep it on the ground once again to start this drive. And another successful opening drive up the middle, trying to get to the 50-yard line. Just a little bit short. And about the 48 is as far as he got. So still a good solid 8-yard run for number 24.
Is it just me, or does Bassick Haddon look smaller in a 24 than he did a 55?
8-yard run, stopping with 31 Spencer.
A nice little stutter step in the hole there and picked up a nice gain, like you mentioned, about 8 yards on that first carry for Bassick Haddon. But boy, I might even lobby for that 55 to come back. That just looked sharp.
Maybe in 55 that was a 20-yard run. You never know. As they keep it on the ground once again, trying to find the first down yardage, it's going to be very close. Again, they hand it off to Bassick Haddon, and they might be a little bit short. Let's see here. Looks like they might be ever so close to the first down, but just a foot short, and maybe even less than a foot. They're going to mark it short, so third down, but certainly with the likes of Bassick Haddon and the running game, it's a no-brainer to go for it here.
Yeah, nobody coming onto the field here for this third and a foot, as you mentioned.
3rd and inches, Cougars on offense. Now some pressure by the Oakville D. Can they get enough for the first down? And a nice little lunge at the end by Cartier. Good job by the Cougars quarterback at that last second. He uses that tall frame to lunge forward. First down for the Cougars. A nice little fist bump by the QB.
Oh, nice run there by Cartier. He was in some trouble. Had to head back toward his own goal line, avoid a would-be tackler, and then had a would-be tackler bounce off of him, put his shoulder down a little bit, and able to dive for that first down. But great individual effort there from Cartier to get that first down.
And crossing midfield, Cougars now have it in Oakville territory, keeping it on the ground once again. There's Bassick Haddon. He shakes off a couple of tackles, 40-yard line. Good run, big run by Bassick Haddon. And a little bit of momentum now for the Cougars on offense.
Boy, that's a nice big hole up the middle. I don't think Bassick Haddon was touched for about 5 yards after he crossed the line of scrimmage. And then after that, just some power running from big number 24, dragging a couple of would-be tacklers before he's finally dragged down. But as you mentioned, pick up of about 11 or 12 there and a fresh set of downs for the Cougars.
Up to the Titans' 40-yard line, still scoreless, just a shade over 7 to go in the first quarter. Opener here for the JVs and the Cougars. Again, they keep it on the ground and shaking off a couple of tackles past the 35-yard line to about the 33. And we now call him old reliable as Bassick Haddon has another very solid first down run.
It's got to be stiff arm Saturday. I think we've seen about 6 or 7 quality stiff arms so far in this game. One there from Bassick Haddon.
Follow the game on Twitter, #StiffArmSaturday. If this wasn't tape delayed by a bunch of days.
That's right.
6.5 to go, quarter one. Mike Renier along with Mike James, Coach Code TV. Jeff Brooks back on the camera once again. Beautiful weekend here in Chatham-Kent. Opening weekend for the Cougars on junior varsity. Quarterback keeps it right up the middle and another big gap right up the gut. And a good run by Cartier. And it's a first down run on first down. So again, this offense seems to have things working on this drive.
Well, clearly the Cougars really like what they've got up front on that offensive line. We haven't seen them put the ball in the air once yet. Cartier, nice design there. The lead blocker, and then hits the B button for the spin move in the hole. Picks up a couple extra yards. And this Cougars offense right now is just rolling, running this football down Oakville's throat.
Cartier in the shotgun. That's a little bobble off the snap. Goes to his right. Pass is complete along the near side. And picking up that one is Ben Bernard, number 4, tall receiver along the near side. And that's enough for another first down. So some sizable plays being made here, Michael, on the offense for Chatham-Kent.
Yeah, certainly picking it up in chunks, which you love to see, and it makes your offensive coordinator's job so much easier to call plays when you're not looking at second and long. That time, really impressed with Cartier's arm. That ball on a rope, right on the money, and easy catch for Ben Bernard, and fresh set of downs again for the Cougars. First time we've seen Chatham-Kent put the ball in the air.
And goal to go here. First and goal from the 8 as a little dump pass along the left, but not a lot for Wilcox to work with along the far side. Down the left, under 4 and 4.5 exactly to go here in the first quarter.
Well, we'd mentioned the Cougars were running the ball, hadn't seen them put it in the air, and now 2 straight passes. That time, Patrick Wilcox chased down a nice play by the Oakville defense, not able to run away from them, and brings up a second and goal here.
Cougars losing a couple on that last play. They try again, scrambling off to his right, trying to find a seam, keeping it himself is Cartier. And still well short of the goal line. So no big score, at least yet, on this second drive offensively for the Cougars. Under 4 to go in this opening quarter, 3:40 and counting remaining.
Third and goal for the Cougars at the Oakville 5.
Yeah, third and goal from the 5-yard line. And
decision time.
Yeah, no substitutions being made here, so unless their holder and kicker are already on the field, I think they're going to be going for this one.
You figure worst case, you've pinned the Titans very, very deep, but they're still going to try for the major score here. Cartier scrambling to his right, heading towards Paydirt, leaping,
and he's
touchdown, Cougars! What a play by Cartier, just getting over the line and sacrificing his body for the major.
Oh boy, Cartier goes airborne, pulls a Superman, gets undercut by one of the defenders for Oakville as he launches himself into the air and able to get the ball just across the goal line for the touchdown. Nice design on that play too. Quarterback keeper on the rollout. If you have a receiver, throw it. If you don't, you think you can make it in, run it. And that's exactly what Cartier does, showing that athleticism that time and going airborne into the end zone.
It pains me to make this parallel as a Packers fan, but it reminds me of 1998 in the Super Bowl where Elway kind of had that Superman dive into the end zone that won that championship for the Broncos. But a great job individually there by Cartier, getting his team up on the board first 6-0 after that major. 11 minutes and 51 seconds into this football game, going for some extra points, and it's good.
Nice job on the hold there by Evan Torres. He's a little bit off the mark. He's able to pull it in and pin it down. And as you mentioned, the kick is good. Cougars first on the board.
So 7-zip lead here for the junior varsity Cougars on their second offensive drive. After both offenses were stalled up to that point, but everything was working there for Chatham-Kent.
Yeah,
largely on the feet of Darian Bassick-Haddon. He certainly had some impressive runs, but good job too by Cartier, the quarterback. So both of those gentlemen, big props to them on that drive.
Yeah, certainly Bassick-Haddon, as you mentioned, just grinding out the run, and that offensive line doing a tremendous job so far. We're seeing them open up some big holes. The running backs are getting good chunks of yards before they're even getting touched. So that's kudos to the big guys up front that are paving the way for those running backs, and good hard running as well from the running backs, as you mentioned. Bassick-Haddon, a couple plays, certainly saw him dragging some would-be tacklers from Oakville, and then Cartier showing nice arm strength, completing a couple passes before finally running it in, showing his athleticism, diving into the end zone. Really, really nice run, start to finish for the Cougars there on that their second possession.
So everything working there for the Cougars. And they hit the score sheet first, up 7-0 in their curtain raiser in the season. As they now kick it off, and a very short kick goes high in the air but comes down. You wonder if that was a little bit of trickery there, but it looks like that it is covered by the Titans. And they will start their drive, their third drive of the evening, inside the 45-yard line in their side of the field.
Yeah, it looks like, as you mentioned, some trickery there. Lucas Doyle just trying to place that kick in an open spot, and the Cougars certainly had a shot at it. Good job by Oakville to dive on it, because that did go at least 10 yards. It was a live ball.
Well, after everything worked in that last drive offensively, why not try that and try and get the football back to score some more? But the Titans do have the ball. Under 3 to go in the first quarter. They look to pass on 1st and 10, and the pass is complete, but it looks like they're going to drop a couple of yards after that Wenzel pass was complete, but it looks like they've dropped about 2 yards. So 2nd and long coming up here for Oakville.
Well, this defense for the Cougars has really been impressive now. Oakville's third possession, and Oakville's really had a hard time gaining yards so far. It is early on in this football game, but really impressed with Chatham-Kent's rallying to the football, and their tackling has been very crisp so far.
Pressure continues to mount for the Oakville offense. 2nd and 12. Wenzel goes back, still has a lot of heat right in front of him, tries to get away, and now his throw is incomplete. I wonder if one of the defenders for the Cougars got an arm on it that deflected that pass, or at least got on his arm a little bit. But regardless, it is an incomplete pass, and 3rd and very long here. So the beat goes on here for the Cougars D.
Oh, great pressure there from defensive end Eric Klustra, big 71, gets a hold of the quarterback Wenzel, and as you mentioned, Wenzel not able to get everything into that throw. And Cougars defense just putting a ton of pressure on Oakville right now.
Everything working out for the Cougars in this opening quarter. 7-0 they have the lead, and getting the football back. A high kick and a long kick. Good kick here for the Oakville squad. It falls out of bounds outside of the 40-yard line, around close to the 30-yard line along that far side of the Cougars bench. So again, Chatham-Kent going back on offense. Under 2 to go in quarter number 1. Beautiful night for football here in Chatham-Kent.
Oh boy, you couldn't ask for any better weather, could you? And I mean, all the rain that we've had in the past, I don't know, I want to say 3 weeks, I would say. It just seems like it hasn't stopped, but finally a bit of a reprieve here this weekend. Yesterday, fantastic day out, and again today. I mean, especially football with all the equipment that you wear and the helmets, it's just perfect, a fine, cool Saturday evening.
A fine, cool evening indeed. And a busy weekend around Chatham-Kent here too, so Mother Nature helping out. And again on offense, the Cougars getting a good amount of yardage on 1st and 10. That looked to be about a 6-yard run.
Boy, and that was a nice job. Nakoma Scott looked like he was going to be stopped for a loss of about a yard or two, and just able to slip out of a tackle and pick up, as you mentioned, about 6 yards. Great job on the running back. That's one of the few times I think that we've seen Oakville get some pressure into the backfield, but Nakoma Scott able to slide out of it and pick up a good chunk of yardage on 1st down.
Clock rolling, 41 and counting left to go in quarter 1. Cougars up 7-0. 2nd and 4. From their own 40 as they look to go to the air once again. Rolling off to his left, and he'll keep it himself, trying to get the 1st down yardage. He will, and a whole lot more as Cartier, using his wheels, hit a little bit of room along that far sideline. And the chains move once again for Chatham-Kent.
Pickup of about 12 yards on that scramble. He was looking to go down the left side. Didn't feel like he had a receiver available, so just saw the opening, tucked and ran, and good decision there from Cartier.
Has the ball at their own 52-yard line, 1st down.
Great protection up front as well. Again, that offensive line doing a tremendous job, giving the running backs lanes, and then on that occasion giving Cartier a nice pocket to decide what he wanted to do there.
Under 10 seconds to go in the opening quarter, and this time they'll keep it on the ground up to the line of scrimmage, and actually he might be a half-yard behind the line of scrimmage. So one of the rare big stops there so far in this first quarter for Oakville. And this will be second at 11 now.
Way back to the line of scrimmage, being stopped by number 55, Chris
Yeah,
Jenkins.
that time was Nakoma Scott again, but good job by that Oakville defense.
Be a loss of 1 on the play. You can bring up second down and 11.
Cougars not really used to that.
1-yard line.
Might be a little shell-shocked after that. Good stop there by Oakville.
We'll see if the Cougars decide to put this ball in the air now. As we mentioned, we've seen Cartier put the ball in the air. He's 2 for 2 on his pass attempts.
Second at 11, last play of the first quarter. Again, scrambling Cartier gets out of trouble initially. Tries to move along the near side, just inside, and does he get enough for first down yardage? He does.
I was going to say he stepped out of bounds there. Boy, oh boy.
Forced out of bounds at about the Oakville 43-yard line.
Ooh, yeah, that was close. Yeah, the official's right there, though, so
Forces him out of bounds.
just
But it looks
looking at the
like
replay on our screen here, and yeah, that was a close one.
Big play still to end the first quarter.
Cougars 7, Oakville Titans, no score.
No lack of effort there for the Cougars, though, as they end the first quarter with a big play. But after one quarter here, the Community Athletic Complex in Chatham-Kent, the Cougars on home turf, kicking off their 2017 season. Great first quarter. They're up 7-0, and everything working well, it seemed, in that opening 15.
Yeah, and again, continue to roll heading into the second quarter here. Cartier had some pressure, one of the few times, actually, that we've seen pressure in the backfield on the Cougars, and Cartier was forced to tuck and run, and elected to just keep it instead of trying to throw it to a receiver, and was able to pick up the first down.
At the Oakville 42. Cougars looking to keep it going here on the ground, and another big stop there by Oakville. That's going to be a significant loss for the Cougars. Maybe a 7-yard loss on the ground there, so a big defensive play there by the visitors from Oakville. And that will make this second and very long, so this is going to be a tall task here for Chatham-Kent.
Boy, that was great penetration from the defensive tackle for Oakville, Jordan Bish, big number 98. As soon as that ball was snapped, he was into the backfield and just disrupted the entire play.
Second and very long for Chatham-Kent, up 7-0. Cartier going to the air, up the middle, and off the fingertips of Ben Bernard. That would have been enough for the first down if he hung on to that one, but just glancing off his fingertips. And instead, the Cougars will have to punt.
Boy, the defensive back there, I'm not sure if he got his hand in on the arm of Bernard or not. Nice defensive play by Vince Tina, number 27. He was right there and made a diving play at the end. If anything, he did enough to at least maybe affect Bernard's concentration. But you're right, that ball just in a good spot, and had Bernard been able to hold on to it, he was gone.
Just a matter of an inch or two. So the Cougars will have to punt. Trying to pin Oakville back as far as they can, and looks like now the Cougars will talk about this one in a timeout.
It looks like they've got somebody running onto the field, maybe a bit of a mix-up on the substitution.
Cougars 7, and the Titans of Oakville no score. Junior varsity, a busy opening weekend here for the Cougars here at the Athletic Complex on this Saturday night. Beautiful Saturday night around here. And we can only hope for as good weather tomorrow. It doesn't look quite as rosy with the projected forecast, but you've got the Pee-wees and the Bantams slated to go on Sunday. Minute and a half into this second quarter. Third and very long, low snap dug out and kicked away just at the last second and fielded cleanly by Oakville as they grab it around their own 20, and a good job by the Cougars and a big tackle there. Looked like Schaefer was the one who took down his man, so no chance at a return there for Oakville.
Great job by Bennett Schaefer. He's the gunner on the outside. And his job is to contain that return man, make sure he doesn't get outside and comes up the sideline. He forces him to either try to bounce around him by retreating or cut it back inside. Bennett Schaefer, fantastic job, gets up the field and makes that tackle.
Oakville begin this drive at their own 15-yard line.
So Cougars have to be happy with the opening position here that Oakville has on this drive, all the way back to the 15. As we're closing in on the 2-minute mark of this second quarter, 7-0 Cougars. And,
fumble.
And the football is loose. Did the Cougars jump on it? Looks like they have. And the Cougars will take over deep in Oakville territory. Up 7-0, and they'll be knocking on the door once again.
Great job there on the strip, and then Quentin Emmerich with the recovery. And boy, oh boy, great field position here for the Cougars thanks to that great coverage on the previous play and the tackle by Bennett Schaefer. Now they get that fumble recovery, and they're knocking on the door to put up another score.
Offense goes back to work. 2:15 into quarter number 2. 7-0 Cougars. And dropping back to pass, that's an incomplete pass, and along the far side, that was Ethan Joseph, the intended receiver, and pass was just a little short.
Yeah, a little bit low, and Schaefer just unable to get to that one.
That'll bring up 2nd and 10, still excellent field position here. At the 15-yard line of the Oakville Titans. So we'll try it again. 2nd and 10. Cartier back in the shotgun formation. He'll hand it off right up the middle. And again, getting around one tackle and up the gut. Another good run by Bassick Haddon. And it is going to be short of the first down, but not by much. You see, less than a yard, I would say. It's kind of a tough angle here, but that looks like less than a yard to go until they can get that first down.
I'd say it looks like maybe 1.5 feet.
Yeah.
It's certainly not long, and I'd expect this is another situation where you dial up big number 24.
Calling a 2-4 here. 3rd down, 6-yard line of Oakville. A 7-0 lead for Chatham-Kent, looking to expand that. Cartier, and now he keeps it, and swarming is the defense for Oakville. That's going to be a turnover on downs. Not much at all that Cartier could have done. Big job by the D-line of Oakville.
Yeah, it looks like they tried to cross up the defense with the fake handoff, and then Cartier looks like he was going to try to scramble outside, but as you mentioned, Oakville not buying it and making the tackle for a loss. Almost looked like there might have been some confusion in the backfield there as well, but either way, the Cougars come up short, not able to take advantage of that turnover, and now Oakville with the football.
Coming up on 4 minutes into quarter number 2. Cougars still have that 7-0 lead. Couldn't add to it there deep in Oakville territory. And back the other way. That one overthrown as that was intended for Jaden Phillips, number 80, down the right side. 2nd and 10 for Oakville.
Boy, I can tell you this much. Steven Wenzel has a good arm. That was a nice throw. And I'm not sure if it looked like the receiver there, Jaden Phillips, let up a little bit at the end of that route. He keeps running. Maybe he gets to that football, but the defensive backs will be on notice after that throw that Wenzel can air it out.
2nd and 10 for Oakville. 10:45 to go in the first half. And again, they air it out, this time to the far side. A leaping catch, and it is
intercepted.
Intercepted by the Cougars, hauling that one back. Zach Brown.
I think that interception was made one-handed. Wow.
Oh boy. Athletic Zach Brown pulls that one in. And another turnover in favor of the Cougars. Back-to-back defensive situations. They pluck the football back in their direction. Cougars remain up 7-0, and they keep taking away the momentum that Oakville might have.
Boy, that was a fantastic grab by Brown. Defensive back's not usually known for the hands, but boy, Zach Brown with the one-hander.
Back on offense, Chatham-Kent, they go to the ground, spinning away from one defender past the 35-yard line. Tupka, and about a 2, maybe 3-yard gain on the ground.
Yeah, nice little spin move by Kupka to cut that one back inside, pick up a couple extra yards after contact. But still second and long, and that's not a situation, we were talking about that earlier, not a situation the Cougars have been in a lot so far in this game, is second and long.
As they come out of the huddle. Nine and a half in this first half. 7-0 Cougars looking to move the chains. Quarterback looks to keep it himself, trying to find a seam down the near side, and first down and more before being hauled down. Another good run by Cartier. And that will easily move the chains for the Cougars. And the big QB, lanky number 2, Cartier, having a good first half.
Boy, oh boy. That's the second time I think we've seen Cartier just absolutely lower the shoulder and run over a defender.
Cougars now have the ball at the Oakville 20-yard line.
He's certainly a threat to run the football. There's no doubt about that.
Along with the Bassick Haddon, you've got quite the 1-2 monster on the ground. And you can't say that about a lot of football teams with your quarterback and running back. They're both huge weapons on the ground. They keep it on the ground once again. This time handed off up the middle. Jubka once again, and you got to put 32 into that conversation too. So the running game certainly a well-oiled machine in this first half for Chatham-Kent.
Boy, and a great lane there on that left side. Great job by the big Hogs up front. Just a beautiful lane for Kupka to run right between. And he doesn't get touched for about 7 or 8 yards, I don't think. And I mean, you're talking about the running backs, Nakoma Scott as well. Mm-hmm. You know, big number 23. You can't forget about his effectiveness either. So they've certainly got the ability to run the football.
And this time again, they try to go to the ground. A little bit of a mishandle, but the Cougars still get that into positive yardage. And Supko once again up the middle. Looks like he gets halfway to moving the chains. Second down after maybe a 4-yard run. So at the 7-yard line now for the Cougars. Knocking on the door again.
Boy, big number 66 for Oakville is going to be thinking about that one tonight probably. Chaz Murray, because he went up high on Kupka. And Kupka is not the tallest of running backs, and he just absolutely missed him up high. Kupka ducked right under his tackle.
In the shadows of the goal line, can the Cougars get Patered once again moving the defense back? Touchdown, Chatham-Kent. They do rumble past the goal line. And another 6 points.
Yeah, Nakoma Scott there with the strong run, not giving up.
So you're absolutely right with that add-on for, I don't want to call him an add-on, but Nakoma Scott, he needs to be in that conversation. The running game has just been dominant and well spread out tonight, and it looks like that's going to be the case for this season for the JVs.
Yeah, they've certainly got the talent, and again, it's got to start up front as well with the offensive line, right? You've got to have those holes to be effective, and the offensive line has done a fantastic job so far in this first half, opening up big holes for those running backs. And when the holes haven't been there, the running backs have done a great job breaking tackles.
Another conversion, so 14-0 for the Cougars. A good first half against the Oakville Titans. So the Cougars certainly doing an amazing job on both sides of the football. The defense has been there in spades, and the offense just getting the job done, doing what they have to do. Largely on the ground, spreading that workload around. 3 or 4 different people finding the seams that they need to find on the ground, and now it's a 14-0 edge for the Cougars.
Well, it's a nice problem to have as an offensive coordinator.
Oh,
you almost think, okay, this drive, who am I going to get the ball to? You know, who's this drive going to be for? Like that drive there. I mean, as a prime example, Ethan Kupka. I don't know that we had seen him touch the ball at running back up until that drive, and then it was just here's a heavy dose of Kupka before eventually it's Nakoma Scott that takes it into the end zone. So just a lot of talent at that running back position for the Cougars, and that's a good problem to have.
And just another person that Oakville has to worry about now for the rest of this football game, so they don't know who to concentrate on. 7:28 to go in the second quarter. Cougars kicking it away. Now a bright sun emerging from the clouds. Comes down, and a healthy return here for Oakville as they get close to the 40-yard line in their own territory.
Good tackle there from Eric Klustra, big 71. Almost had a sack earlier in this game. Forced an errant throw.
Oakville will begin this possession at their own 38-yard line.
So the Cougars again, good job both sides of the football. A couple of takeaways too. So just when you think maybe that Oakville might have had a little bit of a stride, some momentum on offense, Cougars able to take that football away. Let's see what happens on this series of plays for Oakville. Cougars 14, Titans no score. Clock back in motion, 7:05 to go in the second quarter. Back in the shotgun. They're back to pass right up the middle, and it goes past everybody as Wenzel shows off that arm, but a little bit eager as he overthrows everybody right up the middle.
Yeah, good job by Oakville, too. Looks like the Cougars came with the blitz up the middle. That offensive line does a good job picking it up and giving Wenzel enough time to find a receiver, but good coverage there from the Cougars. 2 defenders in the area. Brings up 2nd and 10.
Just a very light breeze and brilliant sunshine here above the athletic complex in Chatham. Going to the air once again. This one is complete by Oakville past the 45-yard line.
That's going to be close to a first down. I
Like
think they might have it.
awfully close, 6:20 to go. It looks like maybe a yard short. But the way this football game's going, I think it's not even a decision. You just go for it here.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, and they're going to give it to them. They are going to say that's enough for a first down.
Well, then it's even more of a no-brainer.
Correction on that is now being signaled as a first down. Oakville does have a first down at their own 47-yard line.
5:45 to go. Clock continues to tick down on the second quarter. Oakville nearing midfield. And this time they'll hand it off. And
fumble.
The ball comes loose once again. Another turnover favoring the Cougars. I think this is 3 straight possessions that the Cougars have plucked the football away. And nothing going right for Oakville, and everything going right here for the Cougars in this first half. They have the football once again.
Hard to say who caused that or who recovered it from this angle, but nonetheless, it doesn't matter. It's Chatham-Kent football. And Cougars, as you mentioned, this is the 3rd straight possession where they forced a turnover. Weren't able to take advantage of it on the first one, but on the second turnover, they did punch it in for the score. We'll see if they can make it another one.
It was 7:77 or 17.
And now with 5:21, the clock stops. And I think this is a timeout against Oakville. Ball is at the 45-yard line of Oakville. So another turnover in the offensive side of midfield here for the Cougars. Up by a couple of major scores, 14-0. And a very healthy crowd here at the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex. And this offensive play blown dead before it gets going. This might move the football back a bit.
Offside call does go against Chatham-Kent.
First and 15 now for Chatham-Kent. 5:19 to go in quarter two.
If I'm not mistaken, I think that's the first flag we've seen thrown against the Cougars in this football game.
5-yard penalty, repeat first down, first and 15.
You might be right. They wind the clock back up once again. Brilliant sunshine above us. Beautiful day all around. On first and 15.
Oh, they try to go with the double move on the outside.
Trying to turn the quarter now. Finding somebody, and a pass is complete. Getting to the original line of scrimmage and maybe a couple of... Actually, that's about maybe a 10-yard gain there. So a good job with that arm from Cartier, as he was initially in a lot of trouble scrambling, but it works out. So it's going to be about 2nd and 6, about a 9-yard pass play for Chatham-Kent.
Yeah, unfortunately we don't have a 19 on here. I'm not sure exactly who that was with the grab. Initially, though, that pass was going to be intended for Ben Bernard. They ran the out and the up, but it was great coverage there by the defense for Oakville. Good job by Cartier adjusting, though, and finding the underneath receiver.
Second and manageable here for the Cougars. They shovel it off to that far side, and they will get the yardage they need on the ground and more.
Cartier picks up that little snap and pitches it to the far side.
You know, it just doesn't phase them. Just a bit of a hiccup there, but I mean, the ball hits the ground. Cartier just reaches down, picks it up, tosses it out to the running back.
It's been that kind of first half.
Yeah, they just make it work.
There he does move the ball down to the Oakville 31-yard line.
And they've just been eating up a huge amount of time in this first half. It's been all Chatham-Kent, aided largely by the 3 takeaways for Chatham-Kent on successive drives. And this time, they fake it to the ground, and not being tricked was the defense from Oakville there.
Yeah, it was a keeper. They faked the handoff inside. Cartier, though, just nowhere to go. Good defense there from Oakville, swarming to the quarterback, and he's dropped for that loss.
Losing close to 5 on that play.
Second down 14 at the Oakville 35-yard line.
We'll see if they can continue any kind of magic offensively here. 2nd and 15, a fair way to go here. Trying to add on to this 14-0 lead. Dropping back to pass again, lots of traffic. Rolling to his left and just past the fingertips. Looked like that was going to be Bernard, the intended receiver, just a little bit past his outstretched arms. And that will bring up 3rd and 15 now for the Cougars.
Yeah, that was a heater coming his way for sure. Just a little bit outside off the mark there. Bernard not able to haul it in, and brings up a 3rd and long situation here for the Cougars.
And now they'll stop the clock with a 3-minute warning as we approach halftime here. And a very good first half for the Cougars. Up 14-0. But a rare situation where they're going to have to punt the football away here. Good snap. Kick goes high in the air. Solid kick. And it does come back into the end zone for Oakville.
Oh, well done.
Great job with special teams for the Cougars.
Again, that's Bennett Schaefer, the gunner on the outside. he makes sure that return man doesn't get outside of him and then makes the tackle in the end zone.
.212 left to go in the first half. So 1 point tacked on for the Cougars. After they could not escape, the Titans couldn't escape the end zone, their own end zone on that punt return. So now 15-0 for Chatham-Kent.
Well, I guess we can't say that the turnover didn't result in any points. They did get the single there.
That's right. So 2 out of the 3 last pickoffs, getting a total of 8 points. Back on offense is Oakville. Pass along to that far side, a short pickup.
Quick pass, number 88, Jack Open on the far side.
Jack Othen, wide receiver for the Titans, getting the reception.
Zach Brown on that stop after gain of about 3. He's going to bring up 2nd down and 7.
Now under 2 minutes to go in the opening half. Oakville looking for any kind of momentum here offensively. It's been a rough go for them so far on the road tonight. And again, big pressure on the quarterback. He escapes it, goes to the air down that far sideline, and it's a little overthrown once again. No flags from what I can see.
No, I don't think so either. It looked like they maybe a couple of coaches on that far side calling for a pass interference flag. But as you mentioned, that ball over the head of the receiver, and I don't know that it was pass interference to begin with.
Didn't look catchable. Wenzel has certainly demonstrated his arm strength, but he has overthrown a number of his receivers so far in this game. So 3rd down and a fair chunk here now for Oakville. Down by 15. 1:42 to go, and once again, they'll have no choice but to punt this one away. Falls behind the Oakville bench onto the track here at the Chatham-Kent Athletic Complex. 96 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. And again, the Cougars will have an opportunity to maybe work their stuff on offense again.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they decide to attack this possession with a minute 36 to play, as you mentioned. If they're going to try to maybe go a little hurry up, put some a little bit of urgency. It's a good opportunity to kind of practice that mindset, if you will, with your offense. And at the same time, you don't necessarily want to give the ball back with too much time on the clock either, but it's always good to kind of put your players in a situation, get that mentality of, okay, it's a hurry-up situation, let's see what we can do.
Good practice for down the road this season, or maybe even later in this football game. You don't know how the second half's going to shake down. As the QB takes it himself, he'll keep it, doesn't get very far as Karche quickly wrapped up as he gets right back to the line of scrimmage. So looks like that football maybe goes half a yard. But 2nd and 9.5 coming up here for the Cougars as the clock continues to wind down on quarter number 2.
Well, for as well as the Cougars have played this half, they're only up 15-0. It's only a 2-score game, so Oakville's come up with some big plays defensively.
Fake to the running back. They will go to the air. A short little pass along the far side.
Quick pass to the far side complete.
And it is complete, but nowhere close to first down yardage. So that was a short possession for the Cougars. With 1:05 left to go. So you're mentioning, Michael, about having time left on the clock in this first half, and there's a significant chunk of time left for Oakville.
That's right. So good job by Oakville's defense there, not allowing the Cougars to get a first down. They leave themselves with plenty of time on the clock. Cougars going to be forced to punt this one away. And Oakville, I'm sure they're thinking, you know what, let's get a little momentum on our side, maybe get our first points on the board and go into the half, still down 2 scores, maybe even just 1.
Another high kick by the Cougars along that far sideline. And falls out of bounds between the two benches. 59 seconds left to work with for Oakville on offense.
Decent kick there. No return. Oakville going to have to earn every yard that they get. Now on the flip side, Oakville with an opportunity to put themselves in a hurry-up position.
Pass reception along that far side. It is a fairly short play, but the chains don't move, but the yard down marker, what a 3 or 4 yard pickup there for Oakville.
Good tackle there on the far side. Good sure tackle. Looked like that was number 83 for the Cougars and number 17 as well. Connor Wright and Jordan Bushy.
37 seconds to go in the first half. Wenzel hands it
stick
off. And nowhere for the running back to go. Huge hit behind the line of scrimmage. And about a 1, maybe a 2 yard drop on that play offensively for Oakville. So again, the front line for the Cougars coming up with a couple of big crunching hits tonight.
Boy, Evan Clark with the stick on that one. That's about the second or third hit now that you've been able to hear that's been laid by the Cougars. You could hear through the stadium. This defense has really played well this first half.
And on third down, time dwindling on the first half, they continue to go for it, and flag comes out at the end of that play. Pass deflected and incomplete.
I'm going to be interested to see what this flag is for, because both those, the defender and the receiver, going for the ball at the high point at the same time. Boy, oh boy.
Pass interference.
Wow, that's a very surprising call. I mean, we have the benefit of the replay up here in the booth, but both the receiver and the defensive back were going for the ball at the high point at the same time, and the defensive back has every right to the ball as the receiver does. That's a tough call going against the Cougars right there, and fresh set of downs for Oakville in what could be a key situation here with 9.9 seconds to play.
Defense has to shake that one off and still try and kill off the last 10 seconds of this first half. They go to the air once again, and it falls incomplete along the far side. 2nd and 10 now for the Titans, down to 6.2 to go in the half.
Nice job there by the defender on the far side for the Cougars. Hard to tell who that was. Oh, that was 83. Actually, it was Jordan Bushy. Nice job. Second nice play he's made on this drive from Oakville. Getting his arm in there, making that ball fall incomplete. 6.2 seconds. So that play took just about 3 seconds to get off. So depending on what Oakville is able to do, they maybe get 2 more plays out of this half.
Timeout taken. Ball very close to midfield, 54-yard line. Entertaining half of football here. Cougars playing well on both sides of the ball. Very good running game in the first couple of quarters. 3 takeaways certainly have helped their cause, up by 15. .2 to go. Scrambling off to his right. And now going deep down the field and getting a little bit of room. Can they hit pay dirt? It is touchdown for the Titans. Hauling that in, Jaden Phillips. Great pass from Wenzel. And Phillips able to get behind the defense, haul it in. And a major score right at the end of time in the first half.
Well,
Now in the books is a 56-yard pass.
as a defensive back, you can't let the receiver get behind you when you know that they've got to go deep and there's limited time on the clock. It's tough because you're stuck watching the quarterback at the same time. You got to keep an eye on that receiver, and the receiver for Oakville able to sneak behind the defenders, and they're caught looking at the QB. Ball goes over their head, and unfortunately that flag does come back to bite the Cougars, and Oakville gets on the board with a big score here at the end of the first half.
And note the timing there, too. So now you've got all the momentum going into halftime and coming out of the tunnel in the third quarter.
Calvin Beer's point after attempt is good.
After a huge play. Wenzel to Phillips. Touchdown play. And it's 15-7 now. The Cougars have their lead slashed. And now maybe that will put Chatham-Kent a little bit on notice and a little bit more, not that they weren't focused in the first half, but this is not going to be a cakewalk. And I think Oakville made their point quite clear there.
Yeah, and certainly we talked about it. You know, as well as the Cougars had played and really dominated the first half, it was still just a two-score game in the final minute of the first half, and then, you know, Oakville comes up with the big play, and now it's a one-score game, and really it doesn't matter who dominated what amount of time. It's still just a one-score game now at this point, heading to a crucial second half.
Come on back for the third quarter. This is going to be a good one. Cougars 15 and the Titans of Oakville 7. The Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex, halftime on a beautiful Saturday evening. Mike and Mike with Cogeco TV. So we're underway in the second half here at the Athletic Complex, and the Cougars have the football. They'll bring it as far as the 44-yard line in their own territory. Cougars up 15-7. Primarily a dominating performance for Chatham-Kent in the first half, but that last-second touchdown for Oakville has made this a football game.
Yeah, it certainly has. As much as the Cougars dominated that first half, it's only a one-score game on that big passing play to end the second quarter and give Oakville its first points of the football game. So certainly, as we mentioned at halftime, that's going to put Chatham-Kent on notice. Mm-hmm. No matter what, no matter how much you might have dominated that first half, it's still just a one-score game right now to play these last two quarters.
See how they come out here in this second half. They'll keep it on the ground. There is a flag out. Ball comes to the 50-yard line. And let's see how this flag shakes out here.
Looks like they're marching this one back. Oh, no. Sorry, my bad. And now they're marching it forward.
Well, they kind of did both.
Started to march backwards, and then maybe you needed some extra steps on the Fitbit.
Yeah. So, a 10-yard penalty against the Titans. So that helps out the Cougars. First down. Pretty darn close to midfield. Once again, they'll keep it on the ground, right up the middle. Some good yardage past the 50-yard line to about the 49. So Scott gets about 5.
Again, the big Hogs up front doing a great job clearing a lane. Nakoma Scott doesn't get touched for about the first 5 yards. And just want to give some clarification. Earlier in the football game, there was a catch that we had for number 19. At the time on our sheets, we didn't have a 19. there was a number change apparently. So that catch earlier in this football game was made by Trent Amaro. I want to give him credit for that.
90 seconds into the second half, Cougars nursing a 15-7 lead, looking to get some momentum back after that last-second touchdown for the Titans. Cougars have marched the football into Titan territory to the 50-yard line. They're going to the air and down that far side, a little bit of room, and a reception for the Cougars. Nice pass play. And maybe that's the spark the offense needs to get some more points on the board. A huge pass play down that far side.
Boy, a nice pass and catch there. And with those jerseys being so similar, it was hard to tell at first if it was indeed a catch by the Cougars or an interception, but it was a catch. And guess what? By number 19, Trenton Amaro. So nice we got that jersey clarification. Give him credit for that nice nice snag there, getting behind the behind the defense of Oakville.
As the sun slowly fades, it gets harder to differentiate the two jerseys too, as the Cougars run it up the gut once again.
Quarterback keeper.
And Karche keeps the football. And it looks like he gets almost first down yardage, but I think maybe half yard short. He got more than 9 yards on that rumble down the middle. So a good offensive flow here for the Cougars to begin this second half. Almost 3 minutes into quarter three, and an 8-point lead for Chatham-Kent.
Well, Cartier's really put everything on display here in this football game, hasn't he? Some nice throws, some runs.
He keeps it once again, and his O-line tries to push everybody forward to get that half yard or so for the first down. And he does get it, so the chains move, and now we're into first and goal territory. Awfully close to the end zone. Looks like they're only maybe a yard out.
Also got some nice help, not just from up front, but from behind Ethan Kupka. The running back was lined up behind him, giving him a little extra momentum there.
Good opening drive here for the Cougars in this second half. And they'll keep it on the ground once again. They
Nice
punch it in for the touchdown, Chatham-Kent. Put 6 points on the board. It's 21-7.
That's Nakoma Scott, his second rushing touchdown of this football game for the Cougars. And boy, he walks in untouched. Great job up front blocking, and Nakoma Scott is able to trot into the end zone, high stepping. And the Cougars with a nice response here on their first possession to open the second half after Oakville with that big play to end the first.
It doesn't take long for the Cougars to respond as they look for the extra point. High snap, gets settled down, and it's punched through. So 22-7 now. The Cougars have the 15-point lead back once again. And good to see the offense hasn't slowed down or showed any rust here as they come out of the tunnel for the second half.
Well, I've got to say this, Mike, coming out of halftime, the Cougars certainly came out looking focused, didn't they, on that opening drive?
Absolutely.
That they just punctuated with a touchdown. I mean, very crisp, very clean, efficient, a big passing play they completed, and the ground game has just been so strong, and they just continued that to start the second half, and a nice statement to start this third quarter for the Cougars. They get the ball to start, and they take it right down the field.
And after really a dominating defense in the first half, too, let's see if that side of the football can keep things up here. 3 takeaways in that first half, so we'll see if they can remain tenacious on the defensive side of the football here as they get their first go at it in the second half coming up. Very good turnout here this afternoon at the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex. Another healthy kick and fielded cleanly by Oakville. A little bit of room up the middle, finding a seam to the 40-yard line before being hauled down.
Gain of about 18 yards on the return.
18-yard pickup on the return for Oakville.
Riley O'Rourke on
Again,
that
trying to
stop.
find the answer to the major score for Chatham-Kent.
Good job there, Lucas Doyle, with the initial contact on that return man,
Has the ball at their own 38
slowing down
yard
his momentum before his teammates rallying in to finish off that tackle.
4 minutes gone by in this second half. Chatham-Kent 22 and Oakville 7. Titans with the football for the first time in this third quarter. And dropping back to pass, and it's intercepted again by the Cougars. Their fourth takeaway. Can they get a pick six? And now it comes loose again. But it looks like recovering his own
Sebastian Stubblefield, number
fumble there. It was Stubberfield
loose on the ground.
on the INT, and he falls on the football. So the interception stands. And how about 4 takeaways for Chatham-Kent?
Boy, oh boy, Sebastian Stubberfield didn't have to move. It went right to him, and that might have been the result of some pressure on quarterback Steven Wenzel, maybe forcing a throw there. And again, Stubberfield makes that pick and a nice return before he's dragged down really from behind, and that fumble forced, but able to jump back on it and give the Cougars some great field position here and a chance to add to that lead. The ball on Oakville's 20-yard line. Nice start here to this third quarter, first with that scoring drive, now with that turnover.
Coming up on 5 minutes into this third quarter. Cartier out of the gun as he scrambles to his left, looking downfield, now looking back the other way. Pass complete along the near side. And some room to move up the middle after catching that one. Ethan Joseph hauls that one in. And a good first play on this drive now for Chatham-Kent.
Number 31 on the stop.
Yeah,
As he
Ethan
moves the
Joseph.
chain. Sorry, Michael.
Oh, sorry about that, Mike. Ethan Joseph, first time I believe we've called his name. Just a multitude of weapons here for the Cougars. Love how they're incorporating a lot of the different pieces, a lot of the different weapons on offense. And obviously, Ethan Joseph, a part of that.
The Oakville 7-yard line.
Big number 33, the tight end, rumbles for a first down.
Up to the 7-yard line. So again, first and goal situation for Chatham-Kent. They keep it on the ground right up the middle. And Bassick Haddon with the assignment there. He's pushed backwards after maybe getting some forward momentum. Getting past the line of scrimmage, but not a lot for the big man to work with there.
Michael Pistoric and Adam Darrow are able to push him back.
Maybe a 1-yard gain, it looks like, for Bassick Haddon. Second and goal. Quarterback keeps it this time around, gets around one would-be tackler, trying to turn the corner. And doesn't quite hit pay dirt.
Quarterback keeper.
But it looks like he's just outside the corner.
Yeah, about maybe a yard, looks like, shy of that end zone.
Number 31.
And with the score now 22-7, and about a yard shy of that end zone, going to be interesting to see here if they decide to go for it or kick the field goal.
From the Oakville 1-yard line.
Certainly would be a literal chip shot if they went for the 3. But it looks like they're going to try and get the major.
Yeah, Bassick Haddon deep in that running back formation.
Cartier with the snap. He keeps it himself. And it is another major for the Cougars. Touchdown, Chatham-Kent. They add another 6. 28-7.
Oh, that's his second touchdown of this football game. You remember that first one, certainly the Superman score, we'll call it, when he leaped into the end zone. This one, more conventional run up the gut and puts the Cougars up by a pretty decent margin now. Great opening to the second half for the Cougars. They've gone touchdown on their 2 possessions and have forced a turnover.
All in less than 7 minutes in this second half. 6 minutes and 49 seconds into this third quarter. What was a fairly tentative start moving into this third quarter after that last second touchdown for Oakville made it a 15-7 game. 2 majors for Chatham-Kent since. And as you mentioned, Michael, the doors have slowly come off this football game.
Well, the Cougars certainly responded here to start the second half after Oakville put up that big touchdown on the last play of the first half to make it a one-score game. But I'd imagine the Cougars coaching staff got the players focused, if you will, during halftime. The key part, I think, was the fact that the Cougars had pretty much dominated the first half, but only led by a score. And I think I'm gonna imagine that the coaching staff used that as a talking point and got the team focused to say, listen, no matter what you did in the first half, we're only up 1 score. You got to come out and take care of business in the second half, and they've certainly done that so far.
They have. They're up now by 3 touchdowns, so still plenty of football left to go. Lots of time left, so you can't stop by any stretch. And the defense, by and large, has certainly played a big key in this football game. Let's go back to work here. And a little squib kick once again, trying to find that football.
Oh, and the Cougars have it.
It's still loose. And let's see who they give the football to.
Yeah, that's Chatham-Kent football.
My goodness.
That was Lucas Doyle with the recovery. Some trickery there again. That's the second time we've seen the Cougars do that. Go with the short kick. And that time they convert. Second time they forced a turnover in the second half.
Safe to say they are not letting the foot off of the gas pedal here.
No, certainly not. And really, it's only a 3-score game at this point, so lots of time left. 7:55 and counting left in the third quarter, so lots of time left in this football game.
Good field position as they keep it on the ground once again. Some patience by the running back, but only getting up to the line of scrimmage was Scott. There is a flag on the field. It came out right at the snap.
This is going to be holding against the Cougars.
Flag on the play. Holding call does go against Chatham-Kent.
So this sets the football back to midfield now.
Ball will be spotted ball midfield. Repeat first down.
So now 1st and 20 for Chatham-Kent as the task gets that much harder. 7:30 to go in quarter number 3. Chatham-Kent talks it over in the huddle. And lines back up. Not surprisingly, Cartier in the shotgun formation. On 1st and very long, they only hand it on to the running back along the near side, getting past the 50-yard line to around the 48. And Scott once again with the assignment. He's getting more touches as this football game wears on. Again, that almost 4-headed monster on offense. Everybody's still working very well on this side of the football for the Cougars. And Scott gets a pretty healthy run there on 1st and very long.
Yeah, Nakoma Scott, they bring him across the formation. He was lined up as a receiver on the outside. He comes across, takes the handoff from Cartier and takes it up the field. Some pretty good blocking, but the space closed up quickly on Nakoma Scott and looked like it was going to be a bigger gain than that, but good job by that Oakville defense.
2nd and 14 now for the Cougars, dropping back to pass. Cartier going down to his left, and that one sails over a couple of receivers down that far side for the Cougars. And now 3rd and very long for Chatham-Kent. So you expect a punting situation here with 6:18 to go.
Yeah, not sure what happened there, if there was some confusion, but 2 receivers in the same area that time with Bennett Schaefer and Nakoma Scott both in the area.
Did that not go? Can't remember.
Yeah, it's good. It was marked. It's good.
So it should be 29 December. Line drive kick by the Cougars. And a big hit
Big
right
stick.
by the 20-yard line, and now sent backwards again. Some tough defense for the Cougars as they set Oakville back more.
Boy, oh boy.
They're not letting up in any
No.
facet of this game.
The Cougars had laid some wood today. Tanner Horlbeck with a big hit there on the return man.
Oakville has the ball at their own 18-yard line.
Under 5.5 to go. Quarter 3, 28-7 for the Cougars. And now flag.
On the play.
Ball back to the 12-yard line. Under 5 to go in quarter number 3. On the
Good
ground.
defense there by the Cougars. Nothing doing on the ground, and really that's been a theme throughout this football game, hasn't it? The Cougars have really stuffed the run.
Down after the play.
Now 2 flags come popping out well after the play was done.
Oh, I'm just looking at the replay here. It was the running back, number 26 for Oakville, Callum Beer. Looked like he threw a bit of a punch as he was getting up from the bottom of the pile, and then maybe kicked one of the Cougars as well. Now we'll see if there was anything that came before that from Chatham-Kent's side of things, but from what I just saw on the replay, it looks like this might be going against Oakville.
Things getting from bad to worse here for the Titans, already down by 21. Under 5 to go in the third quarter. And now frustration certainly coming into effect there.
Unnecessary roughness calls go against both teams.
Oh, there you go.
So both teams getting penalized for unnecessary roughness there.
Penalty did occur after the play was over, so the down does count. So now faced with second down and about 13 for Oakville.
So again, the Titans in the shadows of their own goal. 2nd and 13, dropping back to pass, scrambling to his left, going to the air, trying to find his big man, and almost intercepted. Trying to find Jaden Phillips. And Stubberfield, who's had a good third quarter here defensively, he almost had another interception.
Fantastic play by Stubberfield. He read the receiver perfectly, and at first I thought maybe he was going to get beat because he was still had his head up the field looking at the receiver and got his head swiveled around just in time, saw the ball coming in and made the play on the ball. One of the keys he might have picked up on, certainly as a defensive back, your coach, watch for the receiver's eyes, and as he starts to put his hands out, obviously the ball's on its way, and whatever the key was for Stubberfield, fantastic play to get his head around in time to make a play on that football.
Cougars getting the football back, kick coming down about the 48-yard line. And the Cougars getting a great return down that far sideline, getting deep around everybody. Could be under the end zone. Touchdown on the return. Chatham-Kent, Patrick Wilcox. 6 more points for Chatham-Kent. It's 35-7.
Wow, electric return from number 8. Wilcox takes it to the house from about the 50-yard line. Just use that speed. Initially started to come to the near side of the field where we're located in the stands, and then went back to the far side of the field and then turned up the speed and outran the coverage from Oakville and Nice return there from Wilcox to add to that Cougars lead.
Jumped the gun a little bit. 34-7 is where it is now. Pending the extra point, but still, the Cougars have, to this point, scored 19 unanswered in this third quarter alone in just over 10 minutes of football. And dare I say, they've improved on their first half performance.
Yeah, they've just been, I guess, more efficient, if you will. That one
Up
is
and
good.
through after they missed their last one. So 35-7. A 4-touchdown lead for the Cougars. And a very impressive home opener, season opener for the JV unit for the Cougars tonight.
If you can't get enough football this weekend, we do have 2 games on tap tomorrow.
Well, while we've got some time here, they get set to kick this ball off to Oakville. Wanted to mention the halftime spirited performance that we saw from singer/rapper Isaac Gamble. Goes by the performer name IG, and entertained the crowd here at halftime. Did a great job, had everybody entertained, had some people dancing in the stands from what I saw.
Cougars alum?
Yeah, so great job by Isaac Gamble. Again, Isaac goes by the performer name IG.
4:08 left to go in this third quarter. All Chatham-Kent in this football game. The curtain raiser to the 2017 campaign for the junior varsity squad. Big things expected from all the divisions here for the Cougars. On this Saturday night, 2 games on Sunday. Again, we'll have coverage with Coach Co TV. We've got the Pee-wees and the Bantams playing on this field tomorrow. And a running catch on this kick for Oakville.
Ethan Newman on the return.
Newman grabs it and gets rolled out of bounds around the 35-yard line of the Titans. 4:04 to go in quarter number 3. 35-7 for Chatham-Kent.
Number 41, Evan Clark on the
You remember, it was only 15-7 at the half, but tells you what the Cougars have done here in this second half. They opened the third quarter with an impressive drive that they capped off with a touchdown run by their quarterback, Jonathan Cartier. Then they forced the turnover. They get an interception, which they convert into a touchdown by Nakoma Scott. And then they do a great job on defense, forced Oakville to punt, and then they got the punt return for a touchdown from Patrick Wilcox. So really, really dominant third quarter here from the Cougars, and you have to like what you've seen from this team coming out of the half, having only been up by 1 score, for as well as they played in the first half.
Only mistake is really letting Jaden Phillips, a great receiver for Oakville, get past all of the defense for the Cougars and rumble in for that last-second touchdown in the first half. That's the only mistake on both sides of the field Chatham-Kent's had today.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Fantastic job of this Cougar squad.
Now flags fly on the field before the snap. Against Oakville. Nothing going the way of the Titans in this football game. Flags going against them all night.
Yeah, offside call that time.
The other thing too is nothing we really do is a time. You want to be 3-0, 2-1, 1-2, you guys do this.
Very low snap,
no.
but now the quarterback falls down and
Wow.
he is sacked, dropping a whole boatload of yards on that one. And now a flag comes flying out well after the play, but that play crumbling right from the start after that very low snap. And we'll see what comes of this very late flag. But it's been that kind of game for Oakville.
This is against Chatham. Initially, I thought it was actually going against Oakville, the snap was low. It rolled back from the center. The center, obviously, his hand must have slipped or didn't get a grip on it properly because, I mean, it never actually got in the air. It looked like he just rolled it back to the quarterback. And by the time the quarterback got it, he was sacked. And to me, initially, it looked like it was one of the Cougars that then got dragged down by the foot, but apparently not. Again, with these dark jerseys, it's hard to differentiate sometimes when they get into a pile who's who.
3 minutes left in this third quarter, and a dropped pass along that far side intended for Noah Brown. He flat out drops it. Clock back in motion, 2:47 left in quarter number 3. 20 unanswered points in this quarter alone for Chatham-Kent. As Oakville tries to make something happen in a diving attempt at a catch going to his right. And that was Truffin, the intended receiver. He couldn't come up with that one.
Yeah, Jordan Bushy, the defensive back for the Cougars, on the coverage. That pass just off the mark from Wenzel.
Good lively crowd here tonight at the athletic complex. Couldn't ask for a better evening around here.
Oh, fantastic. The lights are on. The sun's starting to set. Beautiful Saturday night in Chatham-Kent.
A short pass along that far side. It is a completion just inside the sideline. And let's see if they got enough to move the chains.
Alan Beer did haul in that pass.
Or are they going to turn it over? Let's see.
Too close to call. We're going to have to call on the chain gang.
And now the chains have to come out.
Big
Third long situation there, Michael.
Yeah, big third down measurement coming up here for Oakville. From here, it looks like from where the chains are right on the 45-yard line for a first down. And from where we're looking where that football is, doesn't look like the nose of the football is touching the 45. So I'm going to wager that it's just short.
Yeah, they're saying it's a little bit short, so it is a turnover on downs. And Chatham-Kent has the football once again, up by 28 points.
Well, Mike, earlier on you mentioned pretty much the only blemish, and I agree with you, was that long touchdown pass at the end of the first half that the Cougars gave up. Aside from that, the defense has been just outstanding for Chatham-Kent. They've stopped the run so effectively. They've had pressure on the quarterback. Their tackling has been phenomenal. I mean, especially for this being the first game, you know, sometimes you get that sloppiness. But I have to say, I think that's a testament to the coaching staff. They've done a fantastic job getting this team ready for the season because their tackling is extremely sharp. There have been 3 or 4 hits that you could hear throughout the stadium. I mean, fantastic laying the wood type of hits, and this team just looks like they're running on all cylinders right now.
This is a season opener. Just imagine the possibilities as we get later into the spring and the summer.
Good defense there from Oakville was Josh Chauvin with the carry. First time we've seen him carry the football. It was a loss of about 5 yards.
1 minute left in this third quarter. 35-7 for the Cougars. They've got a big order here. And on 2nd and 15, a little razzle-dazzle going, and a wide open completion for the Cougars, hauling that one in, Ethan Jordan. And on 2nd and 15, the Cougars cover that and a whole lot more as Jordan got as wide open as you could possibly get.
I believe that was Darian Bassick-Haddon with the pass there. A little trickery. He takes the shovel from the quarterback, Jonathan Cartier, and looks like it's designed to be a run play, but no, indeed, it was some trickery, and Bassick-Haddon with a bit of an arm.
Absolutely. So he can hurt you a whole bunch of different ways. Last play of the third quarter. Nothing doing there for the Cougars. So we're 3 quarters into this one. And the junior varsity Cougars all over their counterparts from Oakville as the Titans are a long way away. It's the Cougars 35 and the Titans 7. Lots of flags coming out as we're now underway in this fourth quarter. And look at this run here for the Cougars, going to that far side of the field, looking for more points. Into the end zone, it's a touchdown for now. Let's see how the flags shake down 21 seconds into this fourth quarter as Cartier rumbled in, but it is a holding penalty against the Cougars, so that is coming back. It remains 35-7.
From one end of the field to the other, and then back again. But as you mentioned, the holding call negating that fancy bit of footwork.
And there's another flag at the end. They're calling it objectionable conduct against the Cougars at the end of that run. So a lot of yardage going against Chatham-Kent there.
Well, certainly didn't see what the objectionable conduct was for, but I'm guessing it was more verbal than physical.
Yes, I believe you're correct.
Second down and a whole bunch.
Second down, and the Cougars are back to the 905 area code now.
Well done.
35-7. They do have the lead, however, and some trouble for the quarterback as Jonathan Cartier gets sacked, and another ton of yardage goes back. They're back to the 50-yard line now. So a rare offensive drive that completely stalls for the Cougars in this game.
Well, pretty easy to make the decision here to punt this one away.
It looks like there's a timeout now called.
Timeout Cougars.
Looks like they were a player short.
The other two teams last weekend pitched shutouts, both games. Well, this is Oakville's first touchdown. Yikes. So, bring them down the Packers.
Low snap for the Cougars, dugout. A line drive kick along that far sideline.
That's a live football unless they're out of bounds. It looks like they are indeed out of bounds.
Sends a booming kick down the field.
But a good kick there for Chatham-Kent. Minute and a half into this fourth quarter. Nothing coming easily whatsoever tonight for the Oakville Titans as they have been moved back deep into their own zone. They start from around their own 5-yard line. 6-yard line is the starting point here for Oakville. As the sun slowly sets here at the athletic complex in Chatham-Kent.
First down at their own 6-yard line.
35-7 Cougars. And a drop back to pass, and it is a completion. And little trickery here. Now some room down the near sideline for the Titans. 50, 40-yard line now, finally hauled down to the 35. But a beauty catch and run.
Boy, great job by Tanner Horowbeck to get back and make that tackle.
Yeah. There's a flag down, too.
Little hook and ladder trickery there from Oakville.
Looks like that was Christian Lafreniere with that one.
The penalty going against Oakville here.
Oh, so that was totally negated then.
Well, I believe the penalty came
During the run?
Yeah, during the run. So I don't. It'll be interesting to see where they mark this one. There you go, at the 35-yard line. Okay, there's a block in the back.
So it will be 1st and 10, but in a much less desirable spot for the Titans. So the majority of that beauty pass play negated. From the 35, Michael.
I gotta say, I'm more impressed with Tanner Horowbeck out of that whole play than anyone else. When you've got a number 52 chasing down a receiver, that tells you something about the speed of a linebacker. I mean, it's not often that you see a jersey with a 5.
No.
You know.
He's not normally a speedy dude.
No. You know, when you're talking in the 50s range jersey chasing down somebody with a receiver number, that's impressive.
You don't see it much.
No.
You don't see it much.
You certainly don't.
No.
And you got to love that hustle. You know, you don't give up on the play. You chase it down, never know what's going to happen. And, you know, Horowbeck catches it, makes the tackle, and they got the flag. So that one came back a good chunk anyway. So I like that attitude from the Cougars defense. I mean, they've got a big lead, and they're still playing hard like that. You like to see that hustle.
Nicely into the fourth quarter now. 35-7 Cougars on defense. 1st and 10 for Oakville. They go to the air once again down the middle and
Intercepted, I believe.
Picked off again right at midfield. Quinn Emmerich hauls it in for the INT, and if I am counting correctly, that's the 5th turnover in favor of the Cougars in this football game.
Well, fantastic job by Quentin Emmerich. Great body position. Should also mention that it was Matthew Cougton who had come in at quarterback, giving Stephen Wenzel a break. So it was, again, Cougton that threw that interception. But great position there from Quentin Emmerich to force that turnover. And as you mentioned, I mean, the Cougars defense just continues to force turnovers. Great job by that D.
Just a smothering performance by the Cougars on D as they now transition to offense. And right up the middle, look at this. A truck past the 45-yard line to around the 43.
Boy, and it's Bassick Haddon. It amazes me for his size just how nimbly he moves through the holes. I mean, he just makes it look so effortless.
And talking with some coaching staff halftime, looks like he's grown a little bit since last season. Maybe that's why he looks like he's slimmed down a little bit. He's just got that frame that's a little bit taller now.
And he is playing up a level as well, so you have less of a size differential.
Once again, great speed, slightly towards the right, and Bassick Haddon once again single-handedly moving this football methodically down the field with 11 minutes to go in this football game.
Well, and you know what's so nice about the stable of running backs and the players that they have that can run the football is it reduces that wear and tear on just one guy. You know, where you've got a player like Bassick Haddon who runs so well between the tackles. You know, you can reduce the workload on him a little bit and the punishment that he takes by spreading the ball around a little bit more. And that's only going to help you out in the long run, especially when you get toward the end of the season.
1st and 10 once again for the Cougars. They keep it on the ground. And past the 30-yard line to around the 28. pick up about 4.5 yards or thereabouts, between 4 and 5. So halfway to moving the chains once again, up to the 29-yard line. 2nd and 5 for Chatham-Kent.
Yeah, Josh Chauvin with the carry that time.
Oh, and a little bit of a bobble off the snap. Quarterback recovers, and he completes a pass down that far sideline. Cartier to Ben Barnard, who hauls it in. So that could have been a disastrous play there for the Cougars, but instead it turns into a first down.
Well, great concentration by Cartier. That ball on the snap just zipped through his hands, but he got a fortuitous bounce, able to pick it up on the one hopper and then roll out, and great concentration. He finds Barnard down the field, and they turn that into a pretty nice gain and a first down.
If you had to sum up the night in one play, that would be it, and just how things have worked out for the Cougars all night long. 9 minutes left to go in this one. This time they keep it on the ground right up the middle, fighting hard for some yardage. Play started at the 10-yard line. And now some words from the Cougars sideline.
Something clearly happened on that play that had the coaching staff upset. And yeah, the Cougars coaching staff just erupted on the sidelines. Not happy with the actions of one of the players from Oakville. Looked like maybe there was a bit of an extra shot at the end there after the tackle. Nonetheless, no penalty flag came down.
2nd and goal from the 4. And another major score for the Cougars. Touchdown makes it 41-7.
Looks like that was Darian Bassick Haddon that time. Takes it to the outside and then cuts it back into the middle and gets into the end zone really with little issue. And Bassick Haddon certainly earned it on that drive.
Now the Cougars trying to open up a 35-point lead. Very high snap, brought down. High kick, and now a flag comes flying out.
However, there is a flag down.
Hard to pick up where the flag was there on the replay. But wouldn't surprise me in the least. It has something to do with some frustration and they're calling that unnecessary roughness on the kicker.
Yes.
Was that also that unnecessary roughness? Was that against us?
Yes. Necessary roughness penalty does go against Chatham-Kent.
Oh, excuse me, correction. I thought they... Oh, they did motion that against Chatham-Kent, so... And we just got the signal from the official. They're going to roll the clock, so it looks like we won't have any more clock stoppages for the rest of the game.
So the point after was good, and the penalty against the Cougars. Pardon me, they're now rumblings that it was against
where they've spotted the football, they signaled it was against Chatham-Kent, but they've spotted it like it's against Oakville, so I think they might have just made an error in the signal.
Well, situation is 42-7 for the Cougars. Just over 8 to play in this football game. And playing tough right to the end. Good coverage on that kick for the Cougars.
Newman on the return.
And as Mike mentioned, you won't be seeing the clock stop for much, if anything, for the rest of the way here with a 35-point lead late in this game for Chatham-Kent.
Yeah, and for those that I guess aren't aware, as long as both coaching staffs agree to it, they'll go with the running clock. Typically, when it's a lopsided score like we have in this case, 42-7, no point in prolonging the game at this point, and just keep the clock rolling and finish it up without much delay.
Good solid effort, both sides of the football today for the junior varsity squad for the Cougars. In front of a very healthy crowd here at the athletic complex, cheering them on in this season curtain raiser. Now a pass along that far side as both sides wrestle for the football, but it's hauled in for completion. And Oakville will move the chains, first down.
Oh, fantastic grab there from the receiver, as you mentioned, Mike. Jaden Phillips. Very impressive. Of course, he had the touchdown grab at the end of the first half.
Very tall frame, good hands. Good offensive weapon for the Titans. 1st and 10, 35-yard line. 6:20 remaining in this football game. And now, quarterback evades one tackle, but not two. Again, Matthew Cockton now at quarterback. Stephen Wenzel, the starting QB. And you've seen number 18, Cockton, under center for most of this second half.
Initial pressure came from Evan Clark getting to the quarterback, and then finally the rest of his teammates rallying around to get that sack. Looked like Kyle Carriere got in there as well.
Now on 2nd down, not much happening at all offensively for Oakville, so this is going to bring up 3rd down and off a big loss there. 3rd and 20, if not 21 for the visitors as the clock continues to dwindle down. 5 minutes remaining in this one.
Looked like there was, I don't know if there was a little confusion in the backfield or if that was the design of the play. Fake pitch outside and then hand it off inside. It looked like there was some delay there, though. Might have been because of the pressure that the Cougars got as well. And just for clarification purposes, being told in the booth, when it's a 35-point differential, they'll go with the running clock. So one of the reasons there that we're seeing the running clock.
Again, for the same reasons you mentioned, just no point in prolonging the game at this point with such a lopsided score. And the kick up in the air, coming down around midfield. Cougars grab that one cleanly. Patrick Wilcox past the 40-yard line.
Does have a punt return for a touchdown already this evening.
Every facet of the game for the Cougars working beautifully so far here tonight. Now under 4 minutes to go. And Sunday has a packed schedule right here at this very field, with both the Pee-wees at noon and the Bantam squad. We'll see them right after at around 3 o'clock. Another great season ahead of us here with Coach Go TV and the Chatham-Kent Cougars. If you want to find out more, it's chatham-kentcougars.com. Cougars keep it on the ground, and they'll gain minimal yardage on 1st and 10.
Yeah, at this point, really just about finishing this game off, isn't it? And
yeah.
Getting out of here unscathed and looking forward to your next opponent.
Not trying to be
On the carry.
cute and pretty at this point of the game. Under 3 minutes to go.
Gain of a yard.
42-7 for the Cougars.
Oakville 37.
Now a pass play, and it's completed up the middle.
Pass complete for the Cougars.
First down again for Chatham-Kent.
And getting some reps at quarterback right now, Darian Bassick-Haddon with that completion.
Garrett Stonefish finishing it off with the reception, number 34 for the Cougars.
Nice little passing catch there. Again, Bassick-Haddon had that big pass play earlier in the game on the trickery.
So many offensive weapons for the Cougars. A little sidestep after the catch.
Complete to number 10, Ethan Jordan on the far
And
side.
Jordan hauls that one in. Minimal gain.
Michael Pastorik on the stop.
Well, speaking of entertainment, we talked about the performance at halftime from Isaac Gamble, IG, the
Right.
performer. Also, nice to see the Cougars cheerleaders out for another season of Cougar football.
Absolutely great program all around. And a little sloppiness on a trickery play there late in this football game. Live football gets gobbled up by the Cougars.
Yeah, Bassick-Haddon bobbled it on the snap, and then as soon as he got control of it, tried to continue on with the play that was called and nearly got himself into some trouble.
Under a minute to go in this football game, 50 seconds left, 42-7. The Cougars all over the Titans of Oakville. Third down and about 14.
And they're gonna attempt a field goal here. Good practice, good test, good range.
Low snap, dug out, kick is up, line drive will be a little bit short. Picked up by Oakville, brought out to about the 20-yard line before the Titan is taken out. And that's going to do it. Lopsided victory for the junior varsity Chatham-Kent Cougars in their season opener. A 42-7 win for the Cougars in a huge second half. 27 points unanswered, 15-7 going into halftime. And that's really when the Cougars stepped up their game, right at the start of quarter number 3.
Yeah, I believe 3 possessions in a row where they had touchdowns. They had their first drive of that third quarter they took for a score. They got possession of their second one after an interception that they converted into a touchdown. And then the defense came in, very stout, forced Oakville to punt. And then you had Patrick Wilcox return that punt for a touchdown. And pretty much those 3 possessions right there, and this game they had in control.
So good start to this season, and again, this will be the final play of the football game, and snap goes well wide, fallen on by the Titans, and now officially it is the ball game. 42-7 for Chatham-Kent over the Oakville Titans. So a great start of the year for the junior varsity squad. You got to be really impressed and excited for this season coming up with all the classes here for the Cougars. And the JVs look like they've got things all settled away for this season. It's going to be really exciting to watch them.
Certainly, I have to agree. Lots of talent on both sides of the football. And then on special teams, they did it tonight as well. I was really impressed with all facets of their squad. So going to be a lot of fun to watch this team, a lot of skill, and going to be interesting to see how they come together as this season goes on. But certainly a dominant performance in the opener.
42-7, Cougars win over the Oakville Titans, and we'll have lots more Cougar action all season long. Sunday we'll bring a couple of more games and broadcasts with the Pee Wee and Bantam squad. So 42-7 Chatham-Kent over Oakville. On behalf of Mike James, my name is Mike Renier. Again, thanks to Jeff Brooks on the camera too, and everybody with the Chatham-Kent Cougars organization. My name is Mike Renier. We'll talk to you again real soon from the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex after this big-time win with the junior varsities. 42-7 Chatham-Kent over Oakville. Thanks for watching Chatham-Kent Cougars on Coach Co TV.